A few moments later.
Ain't no finna fucking play. I pull up with that snapper, with that hammer, with that tech, with that chopper. I shoot the dreads off their head like you Waka Flocka. Yeah, like you fucking Waka Flocka. This a free. I got them onions with a hole in your head like a fungi. You play with me.
This is a big Mode Daily exclusive.
Like a fungi, you play with me. Help me. Help me. Take my hand. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Not you.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Royal here. Hope you guys liked that little intro I made. I know you guys have been asking for this video. It's been a long time in the making. I was just extremely busy after Combo Breaker and, you know, just some things going on in life. And now I finally got the time to kind of show you what I've been cooking up. And, you know, another big reason this video took a while is because I've found more and more things as time went on. After initially, you know, testing out how to beat drive reversal after the nerfs. And yeah, I've finally, you know, able to show you guys what that is. So this video is actually going to be a part 1 of part 2. I will make another video in the future, and that's going to go over some even more niche things and like some hard reads and character specific options. But that video is not really like practical. That's just more for like the enthusiasts out there, or if you want a clip farm. Like the stuff I'll show in the second video, it's like pretty high chance you're never going to use that in a tournament or any match that, you know, has stake to it. Everything I'm showing you in this video is practical and is good enough already. So yeah, so getting into it, I'm gonna first just showcase the tech, and then I'm gonna talk about it for a little bit and I'll explain why this works, and then I'll go over the other options as well in this video. So first, let's just talk about first actually let me just show you what the tech looks like. So this tech works on count 2 or count 3, and it will work on delays. For on count 2, there has to be a minimum of 7 frame delay onwards. And I'll tell you why this isn't a problem, and why everyone, if they are going to go for a drive reversal, they will go for it on 7 frames anyways. Because, might as well just show this right now. If you don't already know, after you do button into OD electricity, you're able to block in time if a drive reversal comes out. kind of see there I'm able to block regardless. So this is the first reason why nobody would ever do a drive reversal on delay 0. And the reason why they would wait a little bit and specifically 7 frames onwards to do a drive reversal is because that's the timing when you would either go for a low or for an overhead or for some kind of mix, right? And that's when they could catch you, you know, trying to mix them up and then hit you with the drive reversal and get out. So if I was to go for an overhead, right, I get hit that timing. If I go for a low, right, I get hit. So that's like the minimum delay that's needed. Then this, like, obviously they could delay up to 16 frames or whatever, like 16, 17, it still works. But 7 frame is the minimum delay that needs to occur. And I'm gonna put this on random and I'm gonna show you the tech. So, and by the way, I recommend always doing this tech with a light doll, because if you want to go for the max damage, you will need light doll, because you need them to stay in the corner for all 3 hits to connect. Sometimes heavy doll will, on most characters, like specifically Ken for sure, the 3rd hit will not connect, because it's just gonna, you know, heavy doll goes a little farther than light, and then the last hit doesn't connect, and then you just don't get the pickup. So always remember light doll, and here it is. So that's the first one, and let me just put this to crouch block so you understand what's going on. So, you know, if they're gonna hold crouch block, this is the overhead option. Right? So use a lot of gauge, but you do some, right? But, you know, you could already do that with just this traditional overhead, right? Right after activating. So what's the point, right? So the point is if they go for a level or drive reversal, like that. Right? And just to show you, like, I'll do it again, it's on random. So drive reversal didn't come out. I can do whatever. If you want a meterless option, do this. But there we go. Right, you could do level 1 as well if you want after that. So you saw right there, basically I'm yeah, what am I trying to say? I'm basically trying to say that if they go for a drive reversal, I'm gonna do level 1, and if they don't, then I can go for the overhead. You can also go for the low, but I never recommend using the low, because the low you need to do with the down forward input, because if you you just what's it called, you need the forward input, right? And the problem with the low is, like, you're gonna have to end on a down forward if you actually are, like, trying to hit the low. But then if they go for the drive reversal, then you need to immediately switch to a forward input and then do another quarter circle forward. So I don't recommend doing the low option. I recommend just keeping it to overhead. But just wanted to tell you that it is possible to do the low, but it's, like, much harder, because you need to do a down forward input instead if you're gonna go for this. So now let me actually explain what is going on here. So the first thing is, if you were watching my inputs, you'll notice that I'm holding drive rush right after OD electricity, and then I'm doing drive rush. And during the drive rush, I input 1 quarter circle forward. I did this. And if I saw that the drive reversal came out by the time I did the drive rush, then I just did 1 more quarter circle forward, and then I pressed punch, and I got the super. But if the drive reversal didn't come out, then the entire purpose of doing this quarter circle forward and holding forward for a little bit is the fact that I can then transition that first QCF into an overhead. And this is possible because our overhead is a forward and medium punch input. So that it becomes like a dual purpose. This quarter circle forward acts as one of the quarter circle forwards for the super. But if they don't go for the drive reversal, then I can just hold that forward input for a little bit when I've confirmed that the drive reversal is not coming out, and then use that for the overhead. So I can do an overhead doing a quarter circle forward while also getting ready to do a super if I see the drive reversal come out. So this is why this is really powerful, because with consistency, you can always, you know, if you practice enough, you'll always get this. And like you saw, I didn't mess it up even one time, and I have it on random. And like I mentioned, this is actually the fastest timing they can do this. Realistically, they would probably do it like 12 or 13 frame delay. So you have almost double the time now, actually, to go for this. So, oops, I wasn't ready there. See, so you can still mess it up sometimes, but you just have more time now here. Still have more time. Anytime now. There we go. It's always when I talk that I mess it up. But you guys get the idea. Damn, now I'm just there we go. We got Chris. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. So again, the point is just get this down in training mode, and with consistency you'll be able to get it. So yeah, that's the first basically like the first method to beating drive reversal is hold drive rush, buffer 1 QCF, and then just react. And you will obviously need to have an additional drive gauge after you do OD electricity, right? So if you were to go for this, right, that uses 3, as you can kind of see. But you can go for this. But another reason why this is nice is because you don't have to spend all the bar. Like, you could just go for the meterless option after. But again, if you're gonna get a kill, then just do whatever you need to do. So that's the first option, which is just the standard overhead. Then I'm gonna show now a cross-up option that you can do instead in the next part. Alright guys, so this next thing I'm gonna show you guys is same kind of concept as the last one, but instead of doing drive rush into overhead while reacting with level 1 potentially, you're actually not going to do any inputs here. You're just going to go drive rush, and you're just going to be buffering super here. And the idea behind this is to make it easier on yourself. So this is a slightly easier, actually not slightly, this is a much easier version, where instead of going for an overhead, you're going for a cross up. And the idea behind this is after you do OD electricity and you've held parry and you're doing the drive rush, while you're drive rushing, you're buffering QCF for your level 1. And if the drive reversal comes out, then you just have to press punch and you're going to get the super. But if the drive reversal doesn't come out, then at the last second, you can then just hop and turn it into a cross up. And the cross up, obviously, you have to practice this to get the cross up timing, right? Because you don't want to hop too early, otherwise it's not going to be a cross up. So basically, as the doll is, I'm just going to turn it off for now. As the doll is coming down, right, just practice this, and there you go. It's pretty easy once you get the timing. It's like any other cross up setup as well, right? If you've done those before. There's all sorts of different versions you can do. Those are like the two main ones. Obviously you can end in level 1 instead of EX ball. And if you don't want to use any additional drive gauge, this is like a meterless version. And then obviously you get a safe jump after this, or you can just go for doll after the wild lift, whatever you want to do. So this is really powerful, right? Because basically you don't have to rely on getting the input down while you're going for overhead. Just buffer, and then if nothing comes out, then you can go for cross up. The additional nice thing about this version is if they do for whatever reason go for parry and you hop, then you can react to the parry and then just back throw them, like punish counter back throwing them into the corner. So obviously, yeah, like that will do less damage than potentially hitting them with the overhead, right? But I think this is a really good thing to still mix in once in a while, because you can go for cross up, and if you have a good read on when your opponent's going to go for a level 1, I recommend doing this version anyways, because it's much easier to react, right? Because you're already preemptively like buffering because you think they're going to do it. But if they don't go for it, then you have at least a nice thing to, you know, pick up with the cross up. So, and just to show you how easy it is, remember 7 frame is the fastest they can do this, like fastest delay before, you know, like this is like the minimum delay that they have to delay, because this is not going to work on obviously 0, but like I mentioned, no one does drive reversal on count 0. So 7 frame is the fastest possible timing drive reversal will come out. And if you can get it on this, then you can get this, doesn't matter how much they delay after, because you will be able to react. If you can react on 7 frame, you can react to like 14, 15 frame delay. That's like double the time you have. So let me just show you this. Like that. Instant. It's because I'm already buffering the QCF. So I just have to react to the drive reversal. And if it doesn't come out, then you just hit him with a combo. Let's just do it one more time. Oops. So yeah, I accidentally messed that up. So one thing you have to make sure is don't like just like accidentally hit like a when you go for the hop, you make sure you do 3 inputs instead of, you know, like make sure it's clean, because if you are doing this and then you just get one kick input, you're gonna go for wild lift instead, and that can screw you up. Similarly, if you're doing this and you have 3 bars of super, you can accidentally get level 3 as well. So just make sure that your inputs are clean here and you're getting hop only. So yeah, let's just do that again. There we go. Alright. So yeah, so that's this version. Alright guys, and the very last piece of tech I'm going to show you guys is the light kick rainbow ball. This option is incredibly powerful. It's so versatile because it allows you to do multiple different things. It gives you insane damage if you do happen to land the light kick rainbow ball, depending on their drive reversal timing. It can net you some insane damage. And even if the timing isn't there for when they do go for a drive reversal, you still get mix-up options, and it also covers things outside of drive reversal, like parry, or if your opponent just decides to block there. So first, I'm going to showcase what I'm talking about when it comes to the big combo damage that you guys are ready for. So this works on drive reversal count 2, 17 frame delay and onwards. So this will work like 17 onwards. So like I'll just put it to 20 and I'll show you guys. And I have Ken set to do drive reversal on count 2. So yeah, as you can see, big damage, right? So that is 17 frames onwards, but the nice thing about, like I mentioned, like a rainbow, this also works even on count 3 regardless of what the delay is. So the delay could literally be from 0 frame onwards, and it will still work. So just to show you, on 0 frame, on count 3, this is automatic. I did it a little too late. You have to be quick on the rainbow ball. And then obviously you can, you know, do forward fierce or slide and still get Oki if they're not dead yet. So that's count 3, right? And like I mentioned, that works on any. Count 2, 17 frame onwards works. So now what happens if they do drive reversal on count 2, but the delay is anywhere from 7 to 16 frames? So not enough to get the punish counter light kick rainbow ball, because you need at least 17 for that, right? But what happens if it's like, let's just say 7, which is like the fastest, right? So you still actually have options here, and you still can threaten a left-right mix-up on majority of the cast. So the first thing is I'm going to just set this up and save the recording. And then I'm going to talk about a couple things here. So the first thing is I'm just going to let go of the block. If I do nothing, the way Ken's drive reversal works is that his drive reversal goes pretty far. So that's another thing to note. If it isn't already like obvious by now, everybody in the cast has different drive reversal distances. So Ken's goes pretty far. Like, just to quickly show you. So he goes pretty far out the corner, right? He travels pretty good distance. Blanka, as you know, he has a pretty good horizontal distance on his drive reversal as well. But for some characters like Sagat or maybe like Kimberly or whatever, they don't really move that far. And this is where you're gonna have to lab specifically for some characters. But the general rule is if their drive reversal doesn't go that far, then you need to hold forward during their light kick rainbow ball to hit a cross up. And if they go pretty far, then either you don't have to hold any direction at all. You can just literally just do no direction, or you might need to just tap forward for a little bit. That's it. But that's pretty much it. There is nothing else besides that. In the case of Ken, I don't need to do anything. Like, I will just automatically cross up without having to even steer the rainbow ball. So just to show you, I'm not steering and I already cross him up. Now, in the case of like 17 frame delay, this you don't have to do anything against Ken. This is automatic. Right? It automatically crosses up and hits a punish counter. But 7 to 16 you do have to. So in this case, I just have to tap a little bit behind. Now, like you saw, it isn't a punish counter, but it is still a left-right mix-up that you can threaten your opponent with. And if they don't block this correctly, like if they get hit by the cross-up, then what's going to happen is you get this combo. So, very similar. Oops. If I can hit it. Right? You just don't get the heavy punch because it's not a punish counter at that point, but you still can link a medium kick off of the light kick rainbow. And again, you can also just go for like that. It's very ambiguous. In this case, like, I guess it's Ken. Let's try it again. Yeah, so against Ken, even if I'm holding back, it will always hit cross up. But that's not the case for a lot of different characters. This is like more of a Ken thing. But still, like, you know, it's a very good left-right there that you can threaten. Alright guys, and then the last part, just to kind of showcase what happens if they just decide to, you know, not do a drive reversal. There's only two options here. They either are going to block this or they're going to attempt to parry. So first, I'll just show what happens if they attempt to parry. So just to explain why somebody would attempt to parry here, if you just kind of block this anyways, right? Like, this does a pretty decent amount of chip and you're +6 there. So I could just go for something like this. Right? You're doing almost about 3 bars of drive chip. And if they're already like, you know, 4 bars or something like that, you know, someone would probably want to parry there because they don't want to get burnt out. Or just in general, if they just want to parry right after the OD electricity because they're expecting a mix-up, then they just, you know, sometimes people will parry there. So the nice thing about this option is when you go for the light kick rainbow ball, if I see the parry come out, I just hold back and I just press throw. Very simple, right? You can always react to this. I see the parry come out, I just hold back for a little bit and I will whiff right in front of them. But because they, you know, they're in parry animation, I whiff so I don't make contact, so I don't give them any block stun. I whiff like purposely in front of them and then I just throw. And you get a punish counter throw. If someone doesn't go for parry immediately, but then they see you do the rainbow ball, and then they try to like tap parry for a perfect parry right there, right? You can still bait this out by just holding back at the very end. Like, yeah, like right there, if they, you know, mistime that or something like that, you can still like land right in front of them and just go for that. Now, the second reason why this is important is if they don't go for parry, then they're either blocking this, right? Or they are pretty much blocking this. And like I showed, if you block this, you're +6 here. So this is extremely deadly because you're in throw range. And if +6 right here, then I can go for back medium kick and I can frame trap 4 frames, right? Or I can obviously shimmy if they are going to throw tech here. So if they go for, you know, a throw, they try to tech here, they just get shimmied, right? And if they press a button, oops, I have it on count. If they press a button here, gotta make sure that it actually don't steer too before it hits, and then you get some big damage. If you have bar, you can go for something like this. So pretty big damage. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are the options. If they don't go for drive reversal, then you get that. And even worst case scenario, like let's say you nothing like they just straight up decide to hold everything, and they're just like down back in the entire time. That's not bad either. Like you're doing a good amount of drive chips. So you keep them in the corner. You know, you're not in 4-frame distance range right here, so you can obviously walk back and, you know, bait like a whiff or something like that. Or if they try to jump, you're in distance to just do back heavy or back menu kick or heavy kick. So very powerful. Make sure to use it. So yeah, this is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed. Just a couple last things I wanted to tell you guys. Just remember, this is like layer 2 tech. If your opponent isn't even doing drive reversal, then you don't really need to pull this out. It's better to just stick to layer 1 and the basics, because that is going to give you more pressure and damage anyways. This is only something you show if your opponent is, you know, aware of the nerf and they actually do drive reversal you. I still find many games people do not actually drive reversal after the doll. But this is nice because you're still able to cover the drive reversal input if it does come out. And obviously it does cost a few resources, but if you're able to kill with it, then just go for it. I also wanted to talk about, if you guys heard about the new Avatar Legends, the fighting game coming out, I will be making guides for that. I got to play in the closed betas for that, and I love that game. So stay tuned for that. I will be putting up guides, so if you're interested, subscribe for that. And I also made a website called FGC Guesser. It's a site basically where you guess what rank someone is, and they're clips taken from ranked matches from different fighting games. So right now I only have Street Fighter, but one of the cool things about this game is, one, you can play it with other people, but I also have like a Wordle. Right now it's just for Street Fighter, but if you played Wordle before, you have to guess, you know, what the word of the day is. So there's like a daily version, and there's also one where you can just keep playing over and over. And it's pretty simple to how Wordle actually works. Like, you guess a character, and then based on the categories, it tells you what you got correct and what you got incorrect, and then you have to just, you know, try to guess the character in 6 guesses total. But yeah, aside from that, you also have, you know, you can just play just to guess ranks for clips. So if the clip is below master, it'll only show you iron to diamond as the guessing categories, or if it is masters and above, then you have to guess the MR bracket. So it's pretty cool. And then there's different modes. You can play survival, you can play classic. Ranked matches will come later on. And yeah, if you're also interested in getting coaching, then yeah, definitely, you know, just click here. And you know, it doesn't have to just be for Blanka, it could be for you know, any other character. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Take care.
I got them onions.